Marvel Studios' first original series arrives on Disney Plus.
Wanda and Vision.
Well, so the kids got something to say. Of course, I'm not a child, but this is
Desi.
And I'm Rashad, of course, father of kids. And today, we want to talk about one of the things that we do a lot, and that's watch TV shows. And the TV show that we want to review and spoil, so if you haven't watched it, please come back. It was going to be WandaVision on Disney Plus. Episodes 1 and 2 dropped. Episodes 1 and 2 dropped on Friday, and we all saw it. Didn't see it together because they get up too late for me, and we want to talk about it. So,
Wake up at 8 o'clock.
actually, I was up at like 4:30 for no reason.
Waking up at the dusk of dawn.
The dusk of dawn. Yeah, I'm keeping all this in there. So, how did you like the show?
Hold on.
How'd you like the show?
I enjoyed it.
So.
It was a very nice setting in the beginning.
You don't even know what a setting is.
Yes, I do.
What was the setting?
I Love Lucy. 50s. Rom-com. I don't know. Something like that.
The
It's
setting.
sitcom. It's a not rom-com. Sitcom.
Oh.
Rom-com is a movie.
I thought it was
Yeah.
like romantic or something.
It's a sitcom. It's a situational comedy. That's what sitcom stands for,
Oh.
by the way. All right, so how'd you like it?
Jesus. I liked it a lot for it to be a new show. I don't like old TV shows. I liked it, but I don't really like it because I don't like old TV shows, 60s and 50s shows. So it was all right.
Yeah, that's where the part where I was struggling a little bit because I absolutely abhor that period in television. Really, to be honest, really because it really doesn't reflect. I don't see no black in it besides the black and white part because there's no color. So for me, it's always been hard for me to watch that because I'm like, man, I don't know, these people don't look like me. And ironically, you know, the whole I Love Lucy was Ricky Ricardo. He's a Cuban, but he was like dancing and singing basically. So they made him like the artsy type. Anyway, I'm getting away off track here. But WandaVision, how it starts, if you don't know anything about it, you're going to be confused. So I hope you have some requisite knowledge of the MCU in general. Secondly, if you're coming into this blind expecting it to be like a straight up action adventure, then you just weren't paying attention to the trailers at all. So those two things can be kind of jarring because for me, a lot of this stuff wasn't that funny because I just don't like that time period when it comes to television, what they were trying to do. They did everything correct. Like the set, they even had like old cameras. They even had Dick Van Dyke come in and do a consultation for them because they played up the Dick Van Dyke show as well. So they had everything is period correct, even down to how the set looks and the jokes, like all the stuff was right. So let's talk about the actual characters themselves. So we see Wanda, and Wanda is basically out here looking like she's controlling this whole entire little pocket universe of sorts. Mm-hmm. And we see Vision's in it. Of course, we already know Vision is dead. So
Yeah.
that's the first thing that you're like, wow, like, okay, so how's Vision here? Why is Vision? So,
What are you doing here, sir?
you know, so that's the second thing. And then third, everybody else. Did you guys notice kind of how Agnes seems a little more aware of everything than everybody else?
Yes.
All right, yeah.
No, Agnes had me weak when the mailman came up and he was like, "Don't shoot the messenger," and Agnes was like,
What do you like? That was like so odd. Like what do you think that was about though? Like,
"What? The don't shoot the messenger?"
yeah. Because and then it just cuts away from them. It's like this seems very purposeful, but it seems very random. Like it's a lot of
the mailman and her are like in the universe
in cahoots or something.
Yeah.
Could be.
And the black lady, because she popped out of nowhere. So
Yeah.
I think she a part of it too.
Yeah. Now, to be honest, that she's really not. Like I'll going to tell you who she is.
Who?
The black lady.
Geraldine. That's
Yeah.
her name. Why is that her name?
That's such a period correct black name too.
Like
Hey Geraldine. Hey
could have
girl.
been Barbara.
Nah,
or something.
Geraldine. I was like, yes, but this.
I was like,
I
this
co-sign
sounds
that.
about
That
right,
sounds
but
very black in
that
60s.
name is just so.
Oh man, I was like, when I heard it, I was crying. I said, "Didn't they say Geraldine on the show?"
And her husband's name is Herbert.
Yeah, that's very old school black. Anyway, Monica Rambeau is the little girl from Captain Marvel, little black girl.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
her?
that's the daughter. Yeah, that's her grown up.
Oh,
So that's who that is. So yeah, so
she's not part. She's a part of it, right?
she's a part of it, but she's not.
Oh.
She works for basically. Remember, like every time you saw something like the beekeeper had a symbol, and then the helicopter that was color had a symbol on it. That symbol is SWORD. So that's an organization that's like the offshoot of SHIELD. So basically, SWORD was basically being built up after Captain Marvel. And also, we saw it at the end of Spider-Man: Far From Home when when Nick Fury was in there barefoot walking with warm shoes. Like that's pretty much like the space station for SWORD. So that's where that whole correlation comes from. All right, it's okay. So that whole part of it is really interesting because some people even sort of like coming in and out of consciousness. Like, because we don't know if like she's literally making everybody up, or these people like are just trapped in this town, and she's controlling everybody. It's real weird and interesting to see how this whole thing is gonna unfold. Like that's the mystery of it to me is really what's holding me because the setting, the TV. Like I don't like to be honest. I'm not gonna like that part of it until we get to the 90s and the 2000s. Because 80s TV for me was just like super corny too.
80s TV is like Brady Bunch, right?
No, that's 70s.
That's 70s. What's 80s?
80s is like Cosby Show and Facts of Life.
Oh.
Roseanne. Roseanne is 90s. Like, stuff like that. That's 80s. So yeah, so when it gets like the 90s and 2000s, it's gonna basically end up in present day TV. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what for me is gonna become more interesting because I just don't like those time periods.
Madison said she saw the foreshadow of her being pregnant.
Yeah, they have it at the end of the episode.
But she was like at the magic show, she saw the belly of her being pregnant.
Second episode, if you guys are noticing the whole entire time, remember they had the whole fundraiser thing and like basically the whole trope of him being drunk because he got his systems gummed up and they had like the little cartoon looking thing with the gum.
Mm-hmm. For the children.
Yeah, for the children. So it's every time like they would say, "Oh, this is for the children." Did y'all see any kids? Mm-mm. Exactly.
So
the whole time was for her to almost kind of like subconsciously make herself become pregnant because this is all in her. It's going off the notion that this is all in her mind. Then she can make herself have children in her mind. You feel what I'm saying?
Because I was like, where are these kids at? Where's the elementary school?
Exactly.
Let's find that first.
Yeah. So remember when they go outside, you hear the thud. Like for the second time, first time they heard it and they just went back to sleep. The second time they heard it, they went outside to see what it was, and like the random beekeeper came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the beekeeper came out and she was like, "No."
She's like, "Nah."
You know what I'm saying?
No, we not gonna do.
You gonna
this.
Run it back.
Beekeeper, not a
fan. So they ran it back, and then
run that back, Turbo.
Yeah. So she ran it back, and then what happened? Like she changed everything. She stood up. Yeah. No, and changed everything to color. She was already pregnant.
Yeah, before. I was like, did she get fat out of nowhere?
Nah,
then I was
she got 6 months out of nowhere. Yeah. 6-7 months pregnant.
It's like, girl.
So she went ahead and rewound time back and turned everything into color. And if you notice, they turned everything into color, but they also moved up a decade. So not everything is, if you look at it, it's a very 70s aesthetic inside the house. So just some final thoughts. What do you think episode 3, how is going to progress in episode 3?
Kid's already born.
Okay.
Like the kid, not already born, but probably be born. Because in the trailer, you can see she has a big belly.
Okay.
So kid's probably gonna be born. More crazy stuff like the radio is gonna happen, and like moments like when the man was choking, and she's like, "Stop it, stop."
Oh
it.
yeah.
What do you think that foreshadowed?
That.
Oh my gosh.
that foreshadowed basically that everything wasn't as it seemed. So if you were like a non-viewer of MCU stuff, like that moment right there should have said, hey, like something's not right here. So even the fact that if you notice, Wanda broke character and told Vision to help him.
Oh yeah, she was like, help him.
Like Vision help him. It was like it wasn't even like the it's like do that. You know what I'm saying? Do it now. So that's what that foreshadow. If you were just a regular non-MCU viewer, I think next episode, I think we're gonna move through decades quicker. I think it's gonna be 70s, 80s, and we may end up in the 90s, or 70s and 80s for sure, and then the last couple of minutes we're gonna fast forward to the 90s, because there's no way that they're gonna hold an average viewer's attention just kind of like it's gonna be hard for me, and I actually love the show so far, and I love the characters, because I love where I think it's going to go. I'm not really in love with what was presented right now. It's because not even. I
also think Agnes is gonna get more nosy.
Oh, nosy. Oh.
Yes.
I don't know why you put the A in front of that.
Yeah, more nosy as like it goes on.
Yeah, I really think Agnes is isn't. Is it a puppet?
No.
Nah,
I said isn't a part of it.
A part of it? I thought you said a puppet. I said nah, I don't think she's a puppet. I think she's not a part of it. I think she's there to egg on or to kind of help push Wanda in some almost like nefarious way. Or evil way. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, I think because you kind of get that vibe.
Yeah.
And then I was like, she saw a helicopter, cause I'm thinking like from if you walk down a street, you gonna see what's down that street unless you got bad eyesight.
Yeah, and then it was in color.
Yeah. So I would have been like, hold up, wait a minute. And then her blood was in color. What's that girl name? Dottie. Yeah, Dottie.
Yeah,
I was like, okay.
Yeah, so that was another thing too that was kind of weird too. That whole interaction. Like, what does a gal do? The wipe her blood. She does it herself.
Yes. How do you get blood out of white linen? I was like, what?
She does it herself. Like, what does that even mean? It's very. I don't know. Yeah.
And Wanda's like,
Yeah, because she didn't know.
Like, girl.
This is like a riddle? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it didn't make any sense.
I'm an alien. No. Well, she is kind of an alien. She was born with a stone, so.
Well, like, she wasn't born with a stone. What are you talking about? That's right.
She wasn't? I thought that was like.
Vision was, not.
Oh.
Wanda.
So how she get. They put the stone.
Nah, Wanda. Remember, Stryker. Von Stryker used the Mind Stone to kind of spur on her powers.
Oh.
Her and her brother. Speaking of Von Stryker, did you notice the commercial in the second episode was the name of the watch was called Stryker?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Von Stryker.
You know what I'm surprised of, though? That her brother wasn't in here.
He may be later on. Yeah. Who knows?
But I wasn't, even though I didn't really say it, I was expecting her brother to be here somehow.
I mean, they might, they might bring him out of nowhere.
Yeah, we'll see. Also she might be over him. That sounds bad to say.
I think this is in direct correlation of not dealing with that grief. Think about it. Her basically her country died in Sokovia. You know what I'm saying? They dropped it back to Earth.
Oh yeah.
Her brother died the same day. Then Vision died. And then she had to kill Vision herself. Remember?
That whole relationship between her and Vision is kind of weird. When I first learned about this, I was like, this is very off-putting.
It's like my favorite part of Infinity War.
Like,
it's like, Wanda, I had to...
It's like, dang. Y'all couldn't let him say it first?
Nah, yo, that, man, it gets me, like, it gets me every time. Anyway, I think we're done here today.
That should not crack you up.
It does, though. It really does, yeah. Outside, where was that? In Belgrade?
They was about to go to the train station.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they was at, like, the news thing.
Yeah, it's like, no, we should stay. I have to go back. Okay, Wanda. I'm sorry. It was Corbus Glaze did that, I think. That's his name. I forgot. Anyway.
The one that looked like Squidward?
Yeah. No. The other one with the hat on.
Oh.
Yeah. With a helmet, not a hat. Anyway, this has been our review of episodes 1 and 2 of WandaVision. We're going to be doing this every probably Friday or Saturday and talking about it, reviewing it, spoiling it, the whole 9. Make sure you come back. Like, share, subscribe. Hit the bell to the channel. Hang with the Joneses, of course. This has been the first inaugural Kids Got Something to Say review.
Happy New Year's also.
Happy New Year.
2020 plus 1.
All right, guys.